Every time you defend yourself, you hand over the power to judge you. You think you're protecting your name, but what you're really saying is, your opinion controls me. The urge to explain, to clear things up, to prove you're not that kind of person. That's not confidence. That's conditioning. It's what the world trains you to do. Justify, apologize, explain. But power doesn't live in explanation. Power lives in silence. Silence is not weakness. Silence is calculation. It's the pause before a sniper breathes out. It's the stare before a chess player flips the board with one move. Silence isn't empty. It's loaded. It's tension disguised as peace. The moment you rush to defend, you bleed control. The moment you stay still, the world starts trembling. Welcome to Gaka Mindset. If you've ever been blamed, doubted, or twisted by someone's words, this might be the most valuable lesson you'll ever hear. Because here's the truth nobody wants to admit. Defending yourself almost never saves you. It convinces no one, and it costs everything. If you're ready to stop explaining and start commanding, this is where everything changes. Let's start with that first moment of attack. The jab, the shade, the accusation. Someone sneers, "You think you're better than us." Another says, "You've changed." Instantly, your brain lights up like an alarm. You want to fix it, to sound fair, to stay liked. You want to explain. But the second you open your mouth, you've already surrendered the frame. You've admitted they have the right to question you. And in power games, that's fatal. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. The one who defends himself kneels. The one who doesn't forces the world to defend him instead. The moment you start explaining, you're no longer the author. You're a character in their story. You're reacting inside their frame. Even if you're right, you look smaller for needing to prove it. Think about it. You've never admired the person who argued endlessly to be understood. You admired the one who didn't flinch, who didn't explain, who didn't need to. That calm, that's composure, that's power. Silence doesn't protect your image, it defines it. You've seen this before. A meeting gets tense. One person keeps talking, over-explaining, trying to sound right. The other sits still, eyes steady, no rush to speak. Who holds the room? Always the one who says less. Because silence flips the dynamic. It forces the loud to prove themselves. And every extra word makes them look weaker. That's why the best players, politicians, CEOs, leaders, creators never rush to explain. They let the tension breathe. They let people wonder. Because the crowd stops judging what was said, they start judging how you handle it. And stillness, when deliberate, speaks louder than any defense. When someone throws shade at you, don't fight for clarity. Fight for control. Clarity is emotional. Control is strategic. You don't need to be understood. You need to be untouchable. Because the moment people see they can trigger you, they'll keep pressing. But if your silence unnerves them, if your calm makes them doubt themselves, you've already won. Here's the harsh truth most people never get. Defending yourself doesn't change minds. It exposes your fear. The more you explain, the deeper you sink into someone else's story. The more you talk, the more you tell them their opinion matters. Real power starts the moment you stop caring. Look at the quiet power players of our time. Keanu Reeves doesn't clap back. Elon Musk gets mocked daily and answers with a meme. Rihanna gets called arrogant and says, "Maybe you deserved it." Those aren't defenses, they're definitions. They're surgical, cold, and final. They say, "I don't defend, I define." When you stop reacting, people are forced to talk to themselves. They replay their words. They start doubting their tone. Your stillness becomes a mirror that exposes their instability. That's how you win without saying a word. Silence isn't doing nothing. It's strategy disguised as stillness. It's Machiavellian patience. Because in every field, business, love, politics, the same rule applies. Whoever reacts first loses control. The first person to justify becomes the defendant. The calm one becomes the judge. Let's go deeper. Why does silence hold so much power? Because humans hate uncertainty. When you don't react, they can't categorize you. The brain can't stand blank spaces. It fills them with stories. And those stories almost always exaggerate your strength. That's the Machiavellian trick. Say less, and they imagine more. Picture this. You walk into a room, and someone tries to humiliate you. Guess humility isn't your thing. The crowd watches. Most people would laugh it off or defend. You look at them. Silent, steady, a tiny smile. Then you move on. 10 seconds later, the whole room shifts. The question's no longer, was he rude? It's, why didn't he react? In 10 seconds, you flipped the hierarchy. Because mystery always outranks noise. Silence turns observers into analysts. They stop watching the insult. They start watching you. And human psychology always sides with the one who looks composed. Because composure signals dominance. And dominance makes people listen even when you're not speaking. Someone calls you manipulative? Don't say, I'm not, just breathe. Or say, if that's how you see it. You didn't confirm. You didn't deny. You dropped them into uncertainty. That's the oldest rule in Machiavelli's playbook. Never meet emotion with emotion. Meet it with ambiguity. Because ambiguity is the oxygen of power. Predictable people can be controlled. The unreadable ones become myths. But make no mistake, silence isn't apathy. It's precision. You're not mute. You're measured. You're choosing when to speak, not if you should. And that choice makes every word land like a punch. Words from a silent person carry gravity. That's why when you do speak, people lean in. Machiavelli called it aura. Modern psychology calls it presence. It's that quiet tension that fills a room before you say a word. People feel it when your calm doesn't crack under pressure. They sense it when your tone stays flat while theirs climbs. They can't explain it, but they can't ignore it. That's what power feels like. Not volume, but weight. You don't need to be loud to be felt. You just need to be consistent. Every time you resist the urge to explain, your aura grows thicker. Every time you choose silence instead of reaction, your legend gets a little louder. That's how power is built. Not in the speeches, but in the pauses. Not in words, but in restraint. You don't prove who you are. You prove you don't need to. Let's break down what happens when you defend yourself. Someone says, "You're arrogant." You say, "No, I'm just confident." They roll their eyes. Why? Because once you explain, you sound like you're asking for permission to exist. But if you just smile and say, "Interesting," the game flips. Now they wonder what you know that they don't. Their insult just became your armor. A Machiavellian doesn't fix lies. He outlasts them. Time edits everything. People forget noise, but they remember consistency. You don't win by arguing, you win by surviving. Sometimes silence cuts deeper than words ever could. The person expecting a fight starts to unravel when you don't engage. They keep talking, louder, desperate, circling the same point. You've turned their anger into theater. They're exposing themselves, and you're directing the scene. Think about online drama. Someone calls you out publicly. The mob waits. You say nothing. The hours stretch. Comments turn. Why is he so quiet? Maybe it's not true. Why does this guy look desperate? Your absence becomes your advantage. That's digital Machiavellianism, winning by withdrawal. But silence isn't the only move. There's a second layer, reversal. When you do speak, you don't defend. You flip. They call you fake? Everyone says that when they stop getting what they want. They call you cold. People confuse calm with distance. They call you controlling. Only those who can't lead themselves say that. Short, clean, surgical. You didn't explain. You reframed. You turned their accusation into self-exposure. That's not defense. That's dominance. Machiavelli would call this the turn of the blade. You don't stop the strike. You redirect it. Power isn't resistance. It's redirection. Let's make it real. Your partner says, "You don't care about me." Old you panics, lists proof, explains. New you breathes, looks them in the eye. That's not how I see it. You didn't argue. You didn't bend. You shifted the frame. They expect guilt. You give composure. The silence that follows feels like gravity. They start rethinking. Their anger softens. You've reset the tone without a single defense. Because power doesn't need noise. It needs gravity. And gravity comes from one thing: self-control. And self-control comes from knowing one truth. If you're explaining, you're not leading. Leaders don't explain, they decide. So the next time someone drags your name through the mud, don't dive in after it. Stay above it. Let silence, time, and results do the cleanup. That's the modern Machiavellian principle. Don't fight rumors, outlive them. Don't chase being understood. Become undeniable. Silence doesn't mean disappearing. It means appearing on your own terms. Real power isn't about constant presence. It's about controlled presence. People who chase attention burn fast. People who ration it become unforgettable. That's the law of scarcity applied to reputation. The less you explain, the more every word becomes worth listening to. Machiavelli said a prince should be both loved and feared, but if he must choose, he should choose fear. In the modern world, that doesn't mean aggression. It means psychological weight. The kind of presence that makes people hesitate before crossing you because they can't predict you. Predictability is comfort. Uncertainty is power. When they can't read you, they respect you. When they can't predict you, they fear you. That's what aura really is, the confusion of strength. It's not about perfection. It's about unpredictability cloaked in calm. The best kind of power doesn't make people trust you. It makes them watch you carefully. The goal isn't to be liked. The goal is to be remembered as the one who never flinched. So let's make this practical. You're in a meeting. Someone throws a subtle insult your way. I'm not sure that idea was fully thought through. The amateur gets defensive. Actually, I did the research. The Machiavellian professional pauses, makes eye contact, then says, "Interesting perspective." And then, silence. The room freezes. That stillness becomes a verdict. Everyone watching sees composure versus insecurity, and in every hierarchy, composure wins. Now take that same principle into relationships. Someone says, "You've become cold," or "You don't care about me anymore." The old version of you explains, reassures, apologizes, hoping to fix the emotion. The new version, the Machiavellian version, stays calm. That's not how I see it. That's it. You don't fight emotion with emotion. You dissolve it with stillness. They expect drama. You give serenity. And suddenly, they're the one who feels out of control. In that pause, something powerful happens. The balance resets. They start hearing themselves. They realize how emotional they sound. You didn't win by attacking. You won by reflecting. That's the real secret of silence. It doesn't just protect you, it exposes others. When you master this, you stop chasing fairness. You start radiating gravity. because no one can keep arguing with a person who doesn't move. Stillness becomes exhausting to their chaos. Silence is not the absence of a response. It's the architecture of dominance. Crowds, lovers, critics, all of them instinctively respect the one who doesn't flinch. You win the moment you stop performing. But let's be real. Silence isn't easy. It's brutal. Every part of your ego screams, "Say something." The need to explain, to correct, to be seen as good, it's pure weakness disguised as righteousness. Machiavellian discipline is starving that weakness until only precision remains. You don't have to do it forever, just long enough for others to expose themselves, and they will. The insecure always talk too much. When you refuse to defend, people reveal who they really are. Some retreat, some get louder. The loud ones self-destruct, the smart ones adjust. Either way, you learn. You collect data, and that data is power. Power isn't about shouting louder. It's about listening longer. The man who keeps his pulse steady while everyone else panics becomes the anchor in any storm. The world spins around composure. That's why silence is terrifying. It reminds people of their own instability. Now let's bring this into the digital world, the loudest arena on Earth. Every minute, someone's being accused, canceled, or misunderstood, and the weak ones sprint to explain. "That's not what I meant. You're twisting my words." But every post, every apology, every paragraph just proves they care. And the more they care, the smaller they look. Silence online is nuclear. It kills attention faster than anger ever could. The mob attacks expecting a fight. When you don't deliver, the energy dies. The longer you say nothing, the more the crowd starts talking for you. He's planning something. Maybe he's above it. Maybe they were wrong. You didn't defend, you distorted. That's narrative control through absence. You made their outrage eat itself. The less you say, the more people project intelligence onto you. Even your enemies will start explaining your silence. Some will call it arrogance. Others will call it strategy. Either way, they're talking about you on your terms. You don't need to control the crowd. You just need to hold your frame until they realize they never took it from you. And when you do speak, be surgical, never emotional. Every word must end a scene, not extend it. They say, "You think you're better than everyone." You answer, "No, I just think differently." They say, "You're fake." You say, "Authenticity doesn't require your approval." They say, "You're arrogant." You say, "Confidence bothers people who lost theirs." Short, cold, done. That's not explanation. That's execution. This is the Machiavellian switch. You stop swinging swords. You start holding mirrors. You make others see themselves in your calm. You don't win because you fought. You win because they fought themselves. When you master silence, something evolves inside you. Immunity. Strength still reacts. Immunity doesn't even register the hit. You reach a point where attacks don't land because they no longer have meaning. People stop coming for you, not because they love you, but because it's useless. Immunity doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you don't feed. You stop feeding other people's addiction to reaction. You don't correct every rumor. You don't clarify every misunderstanding. You let time expose what panic hides, and it always does. Time is the best defense in the world. It erases noise and exposes patterns. If you stay calm long enough, the truth always walks back to you. That's the long game of power. Never chase, never prove, never beg to be understood. Let outcomes speak. Let your results become your rebuttal. Reputation isn't what people say. It's what you make impossible to deny. If you stay consistent, stay silent, stay grounded, even your enemies will start to admire you quietly. They'll never say it out loud, but they'll feel it every time your name comes up. That's aura. Aura is invisible authority built on restraint. It's the tension in a room that bends people's tone. It's the calm that makes noise shrink, not out of fear, but uncertainty. They can't predict you. They can't place you. You've become unpredictable but not chaotic, calm but not passive, distant but not detached. You've become what Machiavelli called dangerous by design. At that point, every word is a move, every silence a weapon. You don't chase attention, it chases you. You don't defend your image, it defines itself. You've stopped living for perception. You've started designing it. Here's the paradox. The less you try to be liked, the more magnetic you become. People crave clarity, and you're the one person who refuses to give it. That mystery turns into gravity. You've turned restraint into seduction. You see it in every truly powerful figure. Leaders, athletes, creators, they don't rush to correct the narrative. They don't shout over the noise. They let time do the talking. Because consistency is louder than any argument. Their aura doesn't come from charm or popularity. It comes from the quiet message. I don't explain. I decide. That's the modern translation of Machiavelli's principle. In a world addicted to reaction, calmness is the new chaos. But let's bring this back to you. Because philosophy is worthless without practice. You're going to be tested. Someone will misread you. Someone will talk behind your back. Someone will twist your intentions. Your first instinct will still be to explain, and that's fine. You'll feel the urge rise. Just don't move. Let it pass. Take one breath, then another. Let the silence do what your words never could. The longer you wait, the smaller the attack gets. And if you must speak, make it count. One line, one tone, no emotion. Speak to end the story, not to win it. The true test of power isn't how loud you get when you're angry. It's how quiet you stay when you're right. That's where respect is born. That's where fear begins. Because once you master your silence, you stop reacting. You start defining. You stop chasing fairness. You start setting terms. You stop asking to be understood. You start shaping how others understand you. That's the final transformation. From defender to definer. From reactor to ruler. From proving yourself to making others prove themselves to you. And if you stay long enough in that calm, deliberate state, something extraordinary happens. You become inevitable. Your name starts carrying its own gravity. People lower their voices when they say it. Critics hesitate before aiming. They whisper, "He doesn't respond. He decides." That's when you've crossed the line, from respected to untouchable. So from now on, stop wasting your breath proving your worth. Stop explaining your intentions. Stop begging to be seen the right way. Let your silence speak. Let your results roar. Let your stillness make noise. Because real power doesn't explain, it defines. It doesn't chase validation. It commands respect. It doesn't need to be loved. It only needs to be undeniable. This is Gaka Mindset, the art of becoming untouchable without raising your voice. The game where the strongest move is no reaction, where calm is a weapon, and silence is the crown. If this hit you deep, don't just scroll. Hit subscribe. Not because I told you to, but because you're done defending and ready to start defining. Because from now on, your silence isn't weakness. It's warning. Welcome to your next level.